this is the carby housing. It's the top of the float chamber, and this shaft actually sits in this way, and this bush, it goes in that hole down there. Now it's a 7/16 hole, and I use 7/16 brass, and I can actually just push it down in there with my fingers. So I'll probably Loctite that in, but that's taking a lot of movement out of this shaft here. So look, that's good, I'm happy with that. The next piece we have to make is this little fella here. Now it's 1/2 inch OD, so I have a bit of 1/2 inch here, and it seems to fit into the housing nicely, so we'll just polish the black off that, and that's it. But what we have here is there's a hole drilled through the shaft here, which actually there's a heap of holes drilled here. Someone was buggering around, I think, but so that one goes in there. So not only does it support the main butterfly shaft, but it actually must open and shut a port. Now I can't really see that little port yet. I'm going to have to clean that housing up better to find it, and just to see what it looks like. So the job is tidy this up, square it up on the end, centre drill it, run the drill up it, run the 5/8 ream up it, and I'm not going to part it off then. I'm going to leave it long, and I have a couple of 5C collet blocks that I can put this in the mill. So if I leave a bit on the end here that I can hang on to while it's in the milling machine, that'll probably be a bit easier for me. So we'll just start off with doing the tidy up and getting the bore up through the centre here, and once we get it over into the mill, we'll fiddle around and get these other parts in. So the hole for this new bushing's already in the shaft, so this fella's going to have to go about down there somewhere. So yeah, so we'll chug along, we'll just poke along with this and see how we go. So first up, we'll just drop our little diamond holder in. We'll keep it up on 1000 RPM, it's only a tiny little part. So that was a bit of 400 sandpaper, just polishing the outside a little bit. So we'll bring him up and we'll do the centre drill. We probably should put a drill in there. I don't think we'll be able to push the ream right through. Depends how hard we push, I suppose. I did have a good breakfast. Okay, so this bush here, oh, geez, who done that up? Some big-fisted bugger, lads. Okay, so that's 1 inch long, so we'll go about 1.25 inches, something like that. That should give us room for the bottom of the drill and the bottom of the ream and the... Actually, I might go 1.5 inches, just a bit extra, just in case. Okay, we'll slow her up a bit. I think that's in. Bloody beautiful. Beautiful. I should play with little model engines more, shouldn't I? I love playing with this brass and stuff. Keith Appleton, he does a good job, doesn't he? If you don't watch him, you should get over and have a look. Best thing about steam engines that Keith does is no bloody magnetos. Woohoo, that's a go. So if I've done that correctly, bloody beautiful. You want to turn? It goes to about there. So that's plenty by the time you look at that. And then the old bush is here. So we've got a bit up our sleeve. Not that anything will ever go wrong. Okay, we'll pop this collet out of here. We'll leave this piece in the collet. And we'll take the collet out, we'll put it in a block. And I'll go and get set up on the milling machine. Okay, I've got it set up in a hex block. And the reason I have it in a hex block is when we cut this angle here, and we cut this straight through, so going that way, so by the time that's level there, I'm not sure how far out from straight this little hole will be. So if I get a tiny little Allen key, I'll poke that through the hole just to give you an idea. So if the hex sits like that, about there, well, that points to this point here. So it's probably 30 degrees, something like that. And anyway, I thought I might be able to just drop it on the flat and drill that when the time comes. So look, we'll just see. I might, it may be good, it may not be. Now, I've brought the, I've got a slot drill here, a 2-flute slot drill, 3/16 of an inch, and I can come in from the end here, and there's another 3/16 here. But look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in a little bit further. There's a slight little, just a nick on the end of that shaft there. So I'm just going to come in a little bit further. So rather than 3/16, I might come in 1/4 of an inch. And I'll just use this as a guide. And that way I can put this back in the lathe and I can just trim this end up and I can get this measurement exact. Look, not that I can't do it with the mill, I suppose, but it's got to go back in the lathe anyway to be parted off. So I thought, well, sometimes just easy just to do it that way. So that's what I've chosen to do. So we'll bring it down and we'll just touch off on it. So I'll crank him up. What are we on? We're going to have to go pretty high revs here. So what have we got there? We got about about 1800 RPM there, I'd say. So look, that'll be fine. It's only a little bit of brass, it's nothing serious, and it's only going to be in and out all over. So I'll crank him up and then we'll just touch off. So we're 1/2 inch stock here, so we'll touch off, we'll set the DRO on the main quill here, and then we'll bring it down 250 thou, and that should bring us halfway through, and then we can just sneak along and just do one cut right across. So we'll get it going and we'll find the top. Okay, we've just touched off there, that's our 0 mark. So if we bring them back out of the way here, if we put it there, we end up with about an 1/8 at the end here that we can tidy it up on later. That's just a safety margin, a bozo mark. So we're happy with that. So if we come back down to where our 0 was on the DRO, there we go. Then we come down 250. I need a little bit more light here. Got an old fire really. And there we are. Exactly there, so we'll just lock the dovetail at the back here too, which is something we should have done earlier. You can see the bottom line going through there. We'll bang on, so let's just start him up. It's only brass, we'll just start him up and go along gently with him. Bit of Worth, I like to use that stuff. Worth Cool Cut, used it for years, seems alright. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, easy as that. Now just grab the air nozzle and give that a bit of a blow without kicking the camera over. Okay. Lovely, tell your mother. That's slightly fatter, but that's a bit worn on the outside edge. Okay, so that's a good thing there. I'll just take the burr. Actually, I'll just try this. Okay, that's good. Alright, so now indexing off this, we have to work out where to put our hole. So there's the drop for the video. Hey, I try and keep you blokes happy, eh? Alright, I'll get this set up for doing the hole and I'll come back. Well, I've turned this around another hex, so it's given me 60 degrees difference. And when we use this little fella here, and we pop him there, and we zero him out, then look, all I've done is put a steel ruler in the groove that I cut before. And we're 60.1 or 2. So look, that's okay. So I'm pretty happy with that, and you'd think it would be 60 degrees when you go one hex. Now, to work out if this is actually correct, once we bring this little fella in here, I've got a little drill in there. If we put that drill in there and sit this fella up there again, I spent ages bugging around with this just a minute ago till I was happy with what I've done. And if we bring this down again, where are we? Let's get that feel again. So the best come 58, 59 degrees. And so look, I'm back in the old days with these things. They turn it off again. Back in the old days with those things, they didn't go 59.2 degrees for anything. They would have machined this in, then just gone bang 60 degrees. So I'm pretty comfortable that we can just drop our 60 in, and we'll be okay. So all I have to do is find the centre of the shaft. This is a 2mm drill. I might just go, I reckon I'll find an imperial drill that's just snug on there, and we'll come back. So I'll come back. I've got a touch off on the front and the back here, and then halve the difference to give us the centre, and then I've got a touch off just on the edge of this cut here, then measure. I'll do a measurement with my verniers to the centre hole here. So that should get us pretty close. And the 60 degrees, look, I'm happy with the 60. I think with the slop, that hole's all sloppy and all that. I think that'll be okay. We'll just see. Okay, you'll notice that I've turned this one hex 60 degrees, and if I get this little drill up in here, so what I've done, I've got this little fella here, It's a little bevel box, and we've zeroed it out on the vise, and we know that's 0 to the bed and all here. So what I've done is coming around 1 hex. Well, we know that we've come around 60 degrees, so look, we're 60.4 or 60 and a bit. So just to check, I can use the old hole in the bush, bring this down to it, and we have 59.8. So I'm pretty happy that with this turn 60 degrees, if we put a hole straight down through the middle, we'll be okay. So I'll turn this fella off. So yeah, we should be okay. So now what we have to do, we have to find the centre of the shaft once more. So we need to touch off here, touch off there, and that'll give us the centre. And then we have to measure from the side of the groove here down to the centre of this hole here with a vernier. So I'll do that, I'll get that ready to go, and I'll come back. Okay, we used a centre finder. I didn't show you that, just to find the centre of the shaft. Then we found the centre, I found the edge here, and then when we measured by vernier from the edge to the centre of the hole, yeah, we're close enough to 0 there. So we look at 525 thou. So that's no problem. We can bring the table where are we? I'll just 0 that. So we need to come 525. Lock the bed, make sure we're on 0 through here. Okay, lock the bed, and if we bring this down here close, and we just do a bit of a visual just to check that we think we're good. Look, by eye that looks good. When we line that up and that comes down, I think we're okay. So we'll just, we might slow it down a little bit. So that'll give us a little starting point for our drill. Bit of possum pea. Okay. Right, so if we measure, just to do a check, yep, look, that's looking good. Okay, we'll take the drill back. Okay, that's all we need to do on the mill here. We'll chuck this back up into the lathe in the 5C collet chuck, and we'll tidy up this end here and we'll part this off where it's supposed to go. Bush here, when we come in and we measure to the end here, Just check the 0, yep. We come in there at 185 thou. Now this end, you can see the shine on the end here. That may well be worn, and I was wondering how we worked out where it would be, but we can actually, the shaft will sit where we'd like it to. So look, I'm wondering, would it be worn 15 thou, and they probably just took an even 200 on the end here. Now the groove's like 95, 195. So I'm thinking they probably had that the same, you know, they come in the same amount as the groove, so 195. So what we have here at the moment is 255, and there's a slight little, just a little mark on here. So from 255 back to 195, look, that gives us 55, 60 thou to come off. So we'll crank her up, we'll just touch off, we'll set our DRO, and we'll come in. We can do a couple of test measurements, but we got to come in about 60 thou. So we'll crank him up again. So what are we looking at? We'll go A2, so we should be around 1400. That'll be fine. We might try the other A2 length. So that should be about 50. We're looking for 195. Looking for 7 thou more, so we can dial her into 3, 4, 6, 7. Oh, hang on. Woo up. We might just pop the ream down just this end again, just to clear up any small burr. Okay, so from our old part, we're doing 195 there, we're doing 185. I've put about 9 thou on for the wear, and I'm just, it's a worn end there, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. Okay, now from this end here to that end there is 1 inch and 25 thou. So we'll drop this fella out. We'll put our, well, this is our big parting tool, but oh look, that's alright. Right, we'll find our 0 here, feel the end of the Yep, happy with that. Okay, 0 the DRO. Now coming 1 inch. And 13, 16, 22, 24, 25 thou. So before we plunge and take the plunge and cut, once more, we'll sit our old part next to it. Make sure we're pretty close, and look, that's really close. Just a way of checking our work. Alright, let's go. Okay, there we go. Now if I can find my pliers that I had here a moment ago. I can hang on to that so I don't burn my fingers. It's not too hot. I can just run that down that ream to make sure there's no bore or no burr there. If we sit these two together, I could sit them together where you can see them, but yeah, when we line up the grooves there, line up the drill holes here, and that looks pretty good. Yeah, look, I'm happy with that. That should give us a part to put the carby back together with.